one in my division from like CTL in general.
Oh yeah, I played G-Dog Casey before. That's right. Bronze, silver, gold thing.
Oh. Wow, there's a guy whose name is Gangnam Style. So fuck that guy. There's a guy from Clan Tits Out.
Damn.
No, I don't have any. Are we live? It's not showing it yet. I mean, it says I'm broadcasting, but it's not up on Twitch yet. There it is. Nice.
It's up there.
Nice. Snailed it. Alright, and now we just hang out for 3 minutes.
Wait for people to show. Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna get this opened up and started and all that chance. Now,
right. I just gotta download it.
Yeah, and I'll do that every game. I'll switch the overlay after I've had a chance to open up the match and, bring up the name tab, bring up production tab, flip the names in the direction they need to be, put the numbers up, and then I'll bring it up.
Alright.
That way on the VODs, they don't see all the busy work.
All the magical things going on in the background.
Yeah. We don't want to ruin the magic. They won't think it's magical if they can tell that we're pressing buttons.
Exactly.
Yeah, no.
Just staring at loading screens for about 2 minutes.
Yeah. How do you get that little snake? The little snake in the marine helmet?
I don't know. I've never seen that.
Yeah, I've seen it twice, and I'm pretty sure both times might have been Choggy, to be fair. But I know I've seen it somewhere else. I like it.
Just for Choggy.
Oh, what a lucky guy. What a stand-up individual. I feel like I'm going to be saying a lot of names I said last week. Just like by the nature of, CT6, EU. CT6 EU.
Oh, God. I cast a lot of CT6.
I have twice now.
I think the only times I've cast have been with CT6.
Are you still loading?
Yeah.
Okay, making sure. Because my loading bar is full, but I was like, if it's full and we're not loading, then stupid computer seems
disagreeing
stupid.
with
No,
me.
we're fine. You're fine. The first loadout takes a while, so I started it early. What up, Happybythree? Do you have better Twitch TV?
Sorry?
Do you have better Twitch TV installed?
No.
Oh, it's really great, actually. It's fantastic. But it changes a lot of the there we go.
Alright. Yeah, I'm full bar now.
Game paused.
It changes a lot of who do we have on the left? Alright, so you okay?
Yeah, my proper overlay isn't set up for some reason.
Oh, weird.
Okay. That's weird.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. This, I played a dude on ladder yesterday and invited him to CTL. And he just messaged me and he's like, hey, I got all filled out on the thing and I'm just going to wait for, someone to come up with a team.
Oh, cool.
Makes me happy.
Tell him to just, put a post on the forums.
Yeah.
That's how I found GNR. Threw a post on the forums and Jordan was first to respond. Is it a TPP?
Cool. Alright, well, we're in then. Might as well get started. So I'm gonna bam. Oh, no. Malformed, come back. There we go. Alright.
Yeah, what are you doing right now?
Alright. You can set it so you can see my vision. And, oof.
Ooh, boy.
Little lag action. Alright, let's start with introductions then. Spawning in the upper left-hand side of King Sejong Station is Malformed. Now, from Team UnRivaled, the blue Protoss, Reaper style. Very misleading insofar as Reapers are not a Protoss unit.
Hold on, I'm just gonna try and fix this lag real quick.
Totally understood. The man with his very own profile picture will have to wait a minute. I'm just gonna do cool looking stuff at his base until we get there. We're only gonna look at Reaper style. I haven't introduced the other guy yet. We can't talk about him.
What is going on right now?
Look at those probes building. God.
Alright.
Pylon. Just finishing up. Little chrono boost action. Alright, are you good? I say as it lags.
No, it's taking up all my freaking network. Alright, well, I'm back out.
You there?
Yeah.
Game paused.
Alright. Just gonna pause it and wait a minute.
It'll just be StarCraft, everything else is fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
To whoever is playing their trumpet on my floor right now, that's really nice that you're like good at horn, but stop. I hate when people play their instruments in like dorm areas. It's not, I don't know. Maybe it's because I like, I also am a trumpet player, march trumpet in the summers, and like,
Right.
So I get it, like I get it, but it just, I don't know. There's a place for that, and it's not in the middle of everybody's day.
I think stabilized. I might just have to reset StarCraft.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. Alright. You can go ahead and cast the game, and I'll jump in second game.
Okay, I can do that. Man, you're gonna have so much fun listening to me. It's gonna be like a radio show of the video game. Alright, so as I said before, this guy, Reaper style, being great, throwing down his 13 gateway, and his opponent spawning in the bottom right-hand side of the map, the purple Terran from CT6 EU, it is Chagi. Bam. Alright, so Chagi throwing down the 12 racks and the 13 refinery. Probably going to go for a Reaper opener there. And now we have a double gas at 15 from Reaper style. So we might see a Reaper against Reaper, which would be an experience, to say the least. Alright, so we have another pylon going down. So that second pylon means there's at least going to be no really early proxies or anything. And, we also would have known that from the complete lack of probes on the map. But as this SCV moves in for Chagi, he's going to see the second pylon, and that tells him that he's a little bit safe in terms of what his opponent's doing. Now the orbital is started, cybernetics core is started, and as expected, a Reaper is on the way, so Chagi is going to get up here, going to be able to get a pretty good amount of scouting information, and most importantly, with his Reaper just about to pop, he's going to see that he can do Reaper damage. By the time, if this Zealot got chronoed out and then a Stalker got chronoed out, the Reaper would still have plenty of time to do some damage. So now that the Reaper's out, we're going to follow that, see what it is up to as this Reaper does start his motion across the map, checking for any proxies. Despite seeing both of these pylons, there is no third pylon, so it's still worth checking just in case. If there was a third, it would be like absolutely certain at 4 minutes, like you're fine. But always good to check. Now, we do have expansions going down from both players. The Mothership Core just about to launch, so that Reaper not going to be able to do any damage when it gets up there thanks to the Mama Core, but it is going to get scouting intel, and that's important as anything else. This SCP hanging out over here, not sure why, but he is hanging out. And a very quick reactor coming down on the barracks. As a factory, I assume? No, another barracks. 3 barracks? Alright, so we have some very aggressive play coming out of Choggy here. He has 2 more racks on the way. Quick reactor on this one. And still only 1 worker mining gas. So we're probably going to see a pretty big marine push coming out of Shoggy. Meanwhile, over on this side of things, we do have a stalker queued up, and now that that pylon finishes up, it's going to get started. Just finishing up a little extra drone count over here. This will be a little oversaturated, but then he'll be able to move drones down here, so that'll be good for Reapersile, getting a good economy. If we look over the income, Reapersile does have a stronger economy going right now. So if he's able to hold off the inevitable push that's coming, this marine push from Choggy, then in response to that, he's going to have stronger economic build late game. So holding this off will be important to him. Now we do see those 2 probes moving down as expected, and an oracle coming out of Reapersile. So regardless of not proxying it, he's still going for some early oracles, which could go very well. Although there are a lot of marines here, and a lot of marines in the mineral line, if he times this correctly, those marines are going to be on their way on the move. And an interesting choice here to get concussive shells. He has filled out that gas, so he's going to be able to get some Marine Marauder. But I would have expected Stim first. Yeah. Use that one guy in gas up to 100, get Stim, and then pull him out and just go mass Marines. So, interesting. Alright, now we do have 2 oracles out, but Reapersile decides that is not quite enough. Going to pump 1 more, possibly another after that, we'll see. And a robo facility coming down. Still sitting on 1 gateway, though, it looks. So, definitely a very economic heavy build here. Probably, I would imagine we're going to see a robo bay soon after this robo facility finishes up. And yeah, 1 more oracle does start on its way. And here come the Marines across the map. If these Marines move into that vision of that Zelnaga tower, though, is that his, though? Yeah, the Reaper holds that. So these Marines are going to get across with very unlikely that he's going to scout this. And his oracles, though, still hanging out behind the base. And 4 oracles can do a lot of damage to a chunk of Marines like this, especially Marines without stim. So the Marines decide not to check for the 3rd. They're going to go straight in. And just now they are seen by Reapersile. That 1 stalker is going to get mowed down, and he's going to start losing probes very quickly. But is he going to pull the oracles? These are the big questions. Instead, he goes for Photon Overcharge, using the probes to try and push the Marines away, as Photon Overcharge does do a bit of damage. He's able to push them away for a bit, and now 5 oracles going to move across the map. 14 probes lost, though, so a fantastic hit by Choggy, and now he goes from an aggressive build with an economic downturn to by far having the economic advantage, and his opponent now hasn't seen these. Choggy has not seen these. He has a number of units back at home, but there's not much. There's nothing to defend back at home for Reapersile, and oracles can do a lot of damage, but it's unlikely they're going to do enough damage to really do what they need. Stim is about to finish up, and as soon as it finishes, we're going to see some major damage coming in over here. There's too many things to watch. If we look over here at the oracles, are they going to be able to mow through this missile turret? The missile turret does go down. The oracles are moving. There is a chunk of Marines, but they're unresponsive as these Marines are too busy over here. Those do get cleared up by the Photon Overcharge. A Stalker. Colossus is on the way, and these oracles are able to do quite a bit of damage, though they are going to fall to this chunk of Marines. But they took out 13 SCVs, and if they go over here, no, there's missile turret there. There are 2 oracles left, however. They're going to be able to keep some pressure on, and if we look back, the first Colossus is about to finish up. And so if we look over at worker supply, it is favoring Reapersile. Is it L? No. Yeah. Units lost, though, also favoring Reapersile. So all things considered, Those marine pushes did a lot of damage, but not quite the damage that Chagi might have needed. Second Colossus on the way. No gateway units being warped in yet. Drops over here to finish off these oracles, just to make sure. And Reaper-Sile is economically ahead, but he really can't afford. If you look back at that unit's lost tab, maybe less units, but it's been more resources. So Reaper-Sile is ahead in workers, and he is ahead in income right now, but he has to maintain that advantage, because with such a low army count compared to his opponent, this kind of attack could do some huge damage if it hits before the gateway units come in. Now we do see 3 stalkers coming in. If we look at army supply, it is favoring Chagi quite heavily though. And though we do have a Colossus on the way, he needs to chrono that out because this army is on the move. And we do see double forge with double upgrades. Extended thermal lance is just about to finish up. Good timing for Reaper-Sile there. Gonna help him a whole lot to have extended thermals. But he needs to get another round of gateway units warped in because, again, the army supply, even with that Colossus, is still heavily favoring Chagi. And 3 Colossi are really good, but with nothing to tank the damage, they can't do too much. He's going to be spotted. Is he able to take it out in time? Yes, he does take it out in time. These Colossus are getting a little hefty. We do see 3 Zealots coming out, and he's going to be able to snipe that. Good cancel on the Nexus, however. And this army knows that it can't quite take this. It does try to engage, but losing a couple too many units there. The Zealots do go down, so he's going to have to load up and try and get out of there. And without blink on those Stalkers, he's going to be lost. Picaporion, I forget about mules all the time. Terran economy is hard to think about. This Viking. Pro Viking. Alright, so if we look back over here, we do have another starport on the way. Factory still producing and a whole lot of barracks, but still sitting on 2 bases for the Terran. Well, the 3rd base is coming up for Reaper-Sile, along with ground armor, and I can imagine ground weapons in a second. There it is. And 2 more gateways over here, and just overall, Reaper-Sile looks like turn for turn, unit for unit, and engagement for engagement. Reaper-Sile is ahead in this match pretty heftily so far. But now we do have some movement out of Chagi. There's nothing over here to defend it except for 1 cannon. Chagi probably going to be able to snipe this Nexus if he puts the pressure on, but there's a huge number of units coming out here, and it may only be, to be fair, 8 units, but 4 Colossus against this kind of... Is he able to... Oh, that fully loaded medevac goes down! A fantastic pick for the Stalkers of Reaper-Sile, and although Chagi gets a drop here, the Mothership Core is already on top of it. Stalkers have already been warped in, and that drop is going to do little to no damage. It took, what, like... Yeah, it took like 50 shields off of an assimilator. Not very much at all. These Colossus moving over here. They're going to see Chagi's unit, but he doesn't run it because they're not Stalkers, and then the Stalkers over here kill it off. And he takes out yet another full medevac, leaving us with an army supply favoring Reaper-Sile, 5 Colossus, 1-1 upgrades. And if we look at the upgrade tab, it's 1-1 versus 1-0. Reaper-Sile in a fantastic position here, about to be sitting on 3 bases, going to have full saturation by the time that clicks. Just front to back, a great position for Reaper-Sile. Now we do see some Vikings coming out, so good choice for Chagi to have Vikings against these Colossi. That's, you know, pretty classic what you want to do in Colossus. But he's going to have to be able to micro these really, really well because, you know, the Stalkers just keep coming in. And the Stalkers are just going to keep getting warped in because Reaper-Sile's got the economy for it. He's still producing more and more Colossi. He does have Blink on the way. And we're sitting on, 7 gates now or 5 gates? Yeah, 5 gates. I'm sure we'll see 2 more coming at some point. Now we have some motion across the map from Chagi. He is moving these Vikings. Going to see what kind of damage these guys can do. Alright, now the Vikings are moving across the map along with the rest of the units, but they're going to see what's there and decide, rather not. So good choice by Chagi. They're doing a overall very good job of knowing what's a good engagement and what is not. And that right there would not be a good engagement. So good decision there. He does put a scan down, tries to engage on it, but is not able to get an early concave well enough. However, he's going to go in for it anyway. The concave coming from the Vikings takes down one of the Colossi, two of the Colossi. Another one is a little bit low, but all that's left of this army is the Vikings. Oh, but the Colossus is moving right through the Vikings. Going to lose the last one. And although there are a lot of Stalkers here, it's just not going to be enough. Huge pickup for Reaper Style. Fantastic play. And although he had 23 SCVs lost, I mean, that was an all-in if I've ever seen one. But it may just be an all-in that can win the game. Psystorm is finishing up. Ground armor is on its way, and that armor upgrade needs to finish up. He's pulling the boys. Some Stalkers moving back down. Ground armor finishes up just in time, and now these Stalkers are 1-2 Stalkers against 1-0 Marine Marauder. It's just not going to be enough, and Reaper Style holds it off long enough to live another day, losing 21 probes, but again, his opponent pulled all of his second, so now Chagi is sitting on a fully saturated, but running out of minerals, single base against his opponent's about to be 4 base economy once he gets all of his drones back. So, drones, my bad. Gets all of his probes back. So, some really good play from Reaper Style, you know, knowing when to engage, knowing how to engage, stepping back when he needs to, and although he made a pretty big mistake with the movement of those Colossi, he was able to come back from it very successfully. It looks like we do have a, I don't even think that was a drop. That was like a single Marine that happened to show up. That Colossi is not having any of his shit. 2 probes do go down, so that Marine did pay for himself twice, so that's good, but not enough for anybody to really shout about. We are back to saturation on the 3rd. We do have probes upon probes coming on their way. Now there are 4 Templars done. Mothership Core just got recreated. Another Colossus is about to finish, and yet we still see only Marine Marauder from Chagi, and Chagi moving across the map again with all of his workers. This is it. He has mules going, but if Chagi can't kill this army with this attack, there is nothing left for him. And as he moves in, he does not get the quick concave. He's going to push those SCVs right in there, and they're going to get torn through by those Colossus. It looks like the last chunk of his army is just about to go down. Chagi quickly losing numbers, dropping under 50 supply, loses all 24 of those. The GG goes down from Chagi, and game 1 is going to go to Reaper Style and Team UnRivaled. Alright.
Alright.
Are you back? Did you get to listen to that? Was it nice?
I know, that was fantastic.
Oh, thanks.
I got to watch the 10-second delay on the stream.
Oh, yeah. That must have been really weird.
Alright.
Every time I said something, you hear it 10 seconds later.
It's
really odd.
I downloaded all the replays, so...
No, that might help.
See if that fixes it, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I suppose we will see. Whew. Let's move into our next game.
Alright. What do you have next? ZBT?
Yep.
Alright, cool.
I do love ZBT. God, I hope we see roaches. I love roaches.
And lots of
drops.
drops.
Yeah, it's gold. We're going to see so many roaches. Roach City. Dude, Roach is good unit, especially in Gold League. Oh god, Boss Terran, don't even get me started on that. I'm checking the length on that game before we start.
Oh god.
Oh man.
Let's not have another.
Whoa. Alright. StarCraft, are you still loading the replay?
Yep.
Huh, StarCraft just closed.
Oh. Alright. Looks like tonight we're gonna have all the issues.
Yeah, just all of them. That's weird. I mean, I've had plenty of like StarCraft issues in my day, but I've never had it just like close. Like it wasn't even a bug splat. You know, I didn't get like a notification or anything. It was just like,
Yeah, apparently it's still lagging. This is... Alright, I'm gonna go and try and reset my...
Okay. Should I just cast the second game?
Yeah, sure, if you want.
Okay. I'll do the second one, and then...
Alright.
Do whatever you need to do.
Alright, talk to you about it.
Yep. Alright. I'm just going to jump into the second game here. Internet, man. Bitches, man. Alright, getting into the second game of this series, spawning in the bottom right-hand side of the map from Team CT6EU, the Orange Zerg Robo Boogie. Nice. Oh, a comma. And spawning in the upper right-hand side with the sass in chat, the Blue Terran from Team UnRivaled, it is King's Gambit. I'm just going to call him Gambit because Gambit is one of the coolest X-Men. And everyone should be proud to be called Gambit. Alright, so we do have the scout over there, and this Overlord looks like he's moving right across, so not quite going to go the right direction immediately, but that's fine because we do have a drone scout also going the wrong direction. So a little bit unlucky for Robo Boogie going the wrong direction with his first two scouts, but that'll be not a huge issue because he's still going to know where his opponent is, and this Overlord's still going to get there in enough time to at least show him what he needs to see. Meanwhile, the Terran is going for a very normal run-of-the-mill 12 racks, and we have a 14 hatch? Very interesting economically speaking. Not only a 14 hatch, but a 14 hatch before pool with a drone scouting. So that leaves Robo Boogie 2 drones ahead of where you normally would want to put down that hatchery. And in the grand scheme of things, not going to be the really, really big issue, but definitely interesting. Definitely not what I'm used to. Not what most people are used to, I would say. And if it does go into an economic mid-game, he's going to be down economically for a little bit if they go into mid-game. You know, if there's some really, really early pressure, he might be a little better off. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. As we see the orbital coming down from King's Gambit. No gas, though. So we'll see what he does with that. First Marine popping out. Going to be able to take care of that Overlord. And a CC already down. So gasless, fast expand from Gambit. Going economic against his opponent, which was probably a good choice. Since Robo Boogie got a semi-economic opener. Finish spawning pool. Finish. Good timing on those. Those finished right about together. Now we do see 2 queens starting. And along with the queens, pretty normal. 2 queens, 2 lings. We'll probably see an Overlord soon, unless we see drones. There's the drones. So now double gas coming down. 2 refineries at King's Gambit's main. And this Overlord hanging out here sees that he has an expansion, but does not yet see what's in here. This Overlord is he on track? No, he's on track to move here and see if anything moves out. So he's not going to see the double gas. And unless he scouts that, that's going to put him at a bit of a disadvantage because it's important to know what kind of gas your opponent is on at this stage in the game. And if there are any other tech structures, which it looks like there are not. So these 2 lings moving across the map, going to see what kind of info they can get. But the answer is not very much. They're just going to hang out here and try and see if anything moves out in the future. We do have 2 more queens on the way, so going for those 9-minute roaches, probably, that I love oh so much. With 2 roaches for spread and 2 queens for spread, 2 queens for injects about to pop again. Generally pretty good vision. I mean, he's got pretty functional parabolic opening here. But yeah, interested to see what happens over on Gambit's side of things. Now we do see Factory coming down along with the reactor, so we're probably going to see Hellions. With this proximity, I would be surprised if we didn't see a little flip reactor action. And there it is. It comes off the line. The Factory comes up, moves over to the reactor, and another Factory coming down. So we're going to see Hellions into something. Not certain what yet. If you look back over the Zerg side, he is taking his second, third, and fourth gases. So, like I said, pretty basic 9-minute Roach opener. My favorite build in this matchup. Oh, look at that. I forget sometimes that there's like a nice button for... There's a nice button for vision. Look at that EPM. I forget there's a nice button for vision, but I can't remember how to do both people, so I never use it. Alright, so over here we do have a tech lab. This Factory is going to move to the tech lab. I kind of expected that. Oh, and this Marine comes out. Ooh, good scouting for Robo Boogie. This Marine took care of one of the lings, so Robo Boogie wouldn't see those... So the Robo Boogie would not have a chance to see those Hellions, but it does not quite go how Gambit expected. There was another Ling, and now these Hellions are in the wrong place. So we got two Hellions hanging out at the wrong base. This Marine does find the creep spread, so now the Hellions are going to start moving over that way, and we do have a supply cap keeping more Hellions from coming out. So, yeah, it's classic 9-minute Roaches. Needs to saturate those gases, though. Not getting the gas income that you need. He does have his lair, but he doesn't have his Roach Warren yet. It's not quite finished. And he needs to saturate that gas so that he can get the gas income. He has the workers for it. They just need to start moving over. Meanwhile, there's these two Hellions starting to move across the map. They are going to meet up with their two buddies and try and move in here, but between this, there's no way the Hellions are going to make their way inside. They're not going to do much damage. And Robo Boogie is in a very good position for himself here. Going with the 4 Overlords. 2 more should be on the way. Yep, you always go for 6 Overlords. This is my favorite build, so I know it to a T. So... you know, 6 Overlords pop out right after your lair finishes, and then you want to just start pumping Roaches. So we're first 9 Roaches are on the way. These Queens are, thank God, on the hold position, so they're able to not going to take out any Hellions. And there are a large number of Hellions turning into Hellbats, probably their best choice at this point. And I would imagine going to go for creep spread rather than focus on anything else. Roach speed is on the way, as it should be. Roaches are massing up back here. Good choice, because now the Hellions aren't going to see them. The Hellions can't see the Roach Warren, and there's a lot of scouting information that they're just going to miss. But the Roaches forced to move up here to get some damage out on the Hellbats, and those Hellbats are going to get just torn right through by the Roaches. But he shouldn't get into such a choke with these. He's going to lose a lot of his Roaches, and although in the long run he's going to win the trade, he could have gotten a bit of a better trade out of that. 1-1 is about to finish up. We do have 7 more Roaches on the way. Roach speed about to finish as well. And probably going to see a push from Robo Boogie as that finishes. And if we look back at home, all there really is a bunker and bunker. So these Roaches can do a whole lot of damage. Like, a lot of damage. All we see is 5 Hellbats and a bunker with 4 Marines. If these Roaches... Oh, and the Roaches are going to catch the Hellbats on their way out. They're going to be able to do a whole lot extra damage there. Since they're not catching the Hellbats under the fire of the bunker, they're able to take out all but one of them. The Roaches see that this is coming out. He cancels immediately, of course, and starts running the SCV away, but they're waiting for the reinforcements to come across the map. The 3rd starts up for Robo Boogie with double gas. God, he's literally doing, like, step-by-step. He's doing step-by-step my favorite build. It makes me happy. Alright, now focusing the Factory? Interesting choice. Yeah, I was going to say, just take the rocks down. As soon as he takes the rocks down, he has this great opening. He can power through all of this and do some serious damage. Now another chunk of Roaches are moving on the way. 2-2 is coming up, and although we have blue... that's not Blue Flame. Although we have 1-1 ship and vehicle coming, these Hellbats and this bunker are just not going to be enough to do the damage that he needs against these Roaches. And no, keep pushing. These Roaches can win the game right now if they just keep on pushing through. And Robo Boogie seems to know it. He pushes forward, gets all of those SCVs taken out. He's going to take the bunker. A couple more Hellbats pop, but it's just not going to be enough for the damage he needs. Robo Boogie with the huge numbers of Roaches right now. Hydra Den is on the way just in case he needs a follow-up, but it's unlikely that that's going to be necessary against this. Now, the factories are trying to pump out units, but there's just not that much. And that Thor, interesting choice. A siege tank would have I don't know. Maybe a Thor makes sense. I don't play Terran. I just know siege tanks just mess my roaches up. And like I said, a couple more Hellbats are going to be popping, but it's just not enough to take out this number of roaches. Are there more roaches? No more roaches. So that's the best thing about Robo Boogie's play right now. He knows how far ahead he is, and it doesn't matter that he had a good follow-up, though, because he wins, the GG goes down, and a game goes to CT6 EU. Alright, let's see if Malformed is on. I want to cast with my buddy. That was a fun game. I love that build so much. Summy.
Alright.
That was really weird. I just heard my voice on your...
Yeah, I had it open.
I have a funny voice.
Alright, I think it's good now.
Dude, we can only hope.
This is
he literally... Robo Boogie just did, like...
the 1-1 roach timing?
Yeah, he did, like, step for step the exact build that I did all through Gold League. Love that build. It was so fun to cast, because like every single step of the way I was like, and now he's going to make 6 Overlords, so because that's exactly what I do. He was clearly using the same Imba build order that I use. Wait.
Yeah. I basically only used that to get into Plat.
Yeah, basically. That was like my entire laddering to Platinum. Like Coulter says, being really, really good at one build is going to make you better than being kind of good at like 12 builds.
Yeah.
And I trust Coulter. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Who's on Xiongsu? So we need to switch. Oh. Oh,
are you?
man.
I don't know, man. Maybe if I'm host, that might help.
Yeah, we can try it.
Alright, let's give that a shot.
Yep.
Or it might be my internet just crapping out on me. The perfect time.
We're on match 3.
On set 3. Oops. Did you get into the replay, or did I just mess that up?
I think you messed it up.
Alright. I should have done that. There we go.
Also, boss turn, I agree. I like it more with queens.
Do you not have enough, any queens for creep?
No, he had 2 and 2, and someone said something about how, you know, the build functions pretty much the same way with or without the extra queens, but I think it's better if you get the 4 queens at the front end. Having creep queens lets you get the creep out so that you can block off your natural with the Evos, and that makes a huge, huge difference if they go Hellions. And, you know, on that map, there's kind of already a block made for you by the rocks, but any other map, that extra creep spread can be the difference between winning and just getting your econ wrecked.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Also the Hellions do, sort of keeps them back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty much just direct counter build there. I was watching that. Gambit went Hellbats. Roaches are pretty damn good versus Hellbats. Oh, it's still gonna be like this.
Still lagging.
Alright, well, I'm not sure what else I can do.
Yeah. Damn. Q. That makes me sad. Will you at least watch?
I'll stick around and watch. Sorry I can cast with you.
It's fine, man. I'll miss you.
Alright. Talk to you later.
See you, man.
See ya.
Alright, so Malformed is still lagging, and sad as that may be, the show must go on. So we've got matches to cast. So we are going to move in here to the third match of the game. I need to move these people to the right direction. That is the right direction. They're going to go over there. You're going to get that up, and we're going to move over, open the correct overlay, get the Twitch chat back up, and spawning in the upper left-hand position of the map from CT6EU, the purple Protoss Shinobu. His opponent spawning in the bottom position, 6 o'clock, from Team UnRivaled, the blue Protoss. Rehab this. So, ladies and gentlemen, and mostly gentlemen, it looks like we're going to be seeing a little rock, paper, scissors here on merry-go-round. And Pylon going down a little earlier for Rehab this than Shinobu. And in general, if you watch, there's like a half-second, about a half-second, I don't want to say advantage because that's a strong word, but a half-second difference between Rehab this and Shinobu, where Rehab this is a little bit ahead of his opponent, so that's good for him. If we look back over at Rehab this's base, he does have Chrono down. His opponent also has Chrono down. And believe it or not, the beginning of a mirror matchup looks pretty much the same. Because it's a mirror matchup, and nobody is cheesing. Now the gateway starts for both players right at 13, and now we're going to see scouts from both players right at 13. First checking around his base, checking around here for any kind of action. Exact same scouting pattern coming out of his opponent. Because, again, believe it or not, mirror matchups look the same. Single gas coming down, double gas coming down over here. So we see the first real difference between these two players' builds is only a single gas from Shinobu and a double gas from Rehab this. The pylon goes down over on Shinobu's side. Different positioning for Rehab this. And going to be interesting to see where these different gas choices go. Now, both of these players scouting to the wrong position, which on a 3-player map means their probes are going to get to hang out for a second over here in this empty base. And as Shinobu exits, Rehab this leaves, and he's probably going to get here and be like, oh man, this means I scouted him. Look, that's his oh. Never mind. Just going to head out. Oh, but then he has to go farther to make sure. But no, it's nothing. That's funny. It started to leave, and I was like, maybe. We'll check. Alright, so now the cybernetics core started along with another gateway. So with the single gas, probably going to see more earlier gateway production, whereas the double gas over here with full saturation already is going to put Rehab this, I would say, going for a starport or a quick robo, and we're going to find out right now. Oh, actually, it's a Twilight Council. All right, but Shinobu with the scout tactics, though. Shinobu comes in just as the Twilight Council starts, gets the opportunity to see this. Grim, they are replays from the semifinals of the Chobo Team League playoffs. All right, now a little Stalker action. I like the way Stalkers walk. It reminds me of Dragoons, but like better. It's just nice. It's just nice, you know. It's a nice thing to look at. Meanwhile, we have a Mothership core for one player, but not the other. 2 gates, both producing Stalkers right now. Warp Gate is on the way. And what's this? Another gateway. Yes. I'm going to spell that out. A la a white girl. Yes. I am ready for DTs. Oh man, am I ready. Now we have 3 Stalkers moving across, and with little to no units here, these Stalkers can do quite a bit of damage. We do have a Stalker on the way over here, along with the Robo facility, so quite an opportunity. It's going to be interesting to see. These Stalkers could do a bit of damage for Shinobu, but if this Stalker... Oh no, he locked his Stalker inside. Oh man. And Photon Overcharge does go down. That's going to look like enough to hold Shinobu off. But man, having to cancel that Robo Bay That's rough. That's rough. However, the Dark Shrine is just finishing up. And a little pylon action over here, all the way over here. So now we're probably going to see a DT Warpin at one of these two. But there are 5 Stalkers hanging outside of the base of Rehab This. Shinobu knows that there's very little to take care of it. He knows this Photon Overcharge is about to go down. And we do see only 1 DT coming in. Man, look how nice that is. Look at that. How nice. Only 1 DT. Going to be able to do a bit of damage, but probably not as much damage as all of this. Oh, but Shinobu knows there's a DT right there. On one hand, that's good because it pushes the army out, but on the other hand... Oh, but he doesn't have a robo. He has no way to get vision, and these probes are just going to start getting torn apart. The DT is able to take out 3 of them, but probes, move a little quicker than DTs do. This DT needs to make a decision because pretty soon there's going to be an army here. There's an observer on the way, and it needs to do as much damage as it possibly can before that observer gets out. Now the observer's out. That's going to really mitigate the ability of the DT to be effective and efficient and productive. And 2 Zealots are going to tear right through a DT, especially with some Stalker help. But the Dark Templar very much able to push the tide of the game in the sense that Shinobu could not go for that really quick aggression that he was trying for. And Rehab is going to be able to survive another day. Second Immortal is being chronoed out. And set a gateway? Yeah, another gateway on the way. Big chunky units hanging out at Shinobu's base. And Shinobu, big old economic advantage with his 2 bases over here. Now, second base coming down from Rehab. This is going to be a little later. But, not ridiculously late. Not bad by any means. Oh no, don't show him you have Immortals yet. Don't show him. No. Rehab this with the classic case of moving out all of the units to attack a little bit of pressure. My biggest weakness personally. I see like 1 Marine attacking me and I'm like, F5! Attack! Oh, I have my all units set to F5, not F2. So, you know what I mean though, panic button. So we do have 1 Immortal over here. Huge army advantage for Shinobu. Oh, not as big as I thought. Yeah, 25 to 23. Oh, because we have a Archon over here. Archon, good unit, and a 3rd Immortal. So a lot of heavy hitters over here, but not a lot of ground troops to really back it up. Rehab needs to really pump out the economy once this base finishes, and really just hope that his opponent doesn't push too soon, because Shinobu has the ground forces to do some serious damage now that he has 2 Immortals. Rehab this definitely has he has more heavy hitting units by far, but that doesn't always mean much if you only have 2 Stalkers to tank the damage, because that means all the damage is going to go down on these big guys and they're going to drop much faster. But that is, of course, speaking about a completely hypothetical engagement that is not happening right now, so I don't think it's anything we need to worry about just yet. Both players seem to just be sort of building up their armies, and we're probably going to see a big old Clash of the Titans A-move party with 2 big old death balls. I'd say that's more likely than seeing these 2 small armies pushing out right now and having a micro fight. But I'm okay with that. Death ball A-move fights are fun. Alright. Another Immortal finishes up for Rehab this. So he may be at a little bit of a supply disadvantage, but he does have 4 Immortals. Immortals are a very good unit against Gateway, and really any ground units. Now another Immortal finishing up for Shinobu, and Ground Weapon's going to finish up earlier for Shinobu. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Shinobu pushing out. I mean, he does have a higher army value, he does have better upgrades right now, he's really all around in a good place. He is where he wants to be. Grim. Immortal's good unit. No, seriously though. Immortal's a very good unit. Alright, and that's a Stargate. Okay, I would expect to see a Robo Bay coming out, but instead we do see a Stargate to try and counter his opponent. Like I said at the very beginning, it's PvP, it is rock, paper, scissors. And Rehab this, feeling confident about his ability to push this into the late game, is going to say, alright, I see your large-scale robo production, and I'm going to counter that rock with my paper and throw down a Stargate. Fleet Beacon with the star. Yes! Oh, man. Oh, Rehab, I like you. Starting with DTs, moving into a fleet beacon for what I can assume is a mothership, but only hope is carriers. Now we're sitting at 6 Immortals. Oh, that Zealot able to see the whole army, able to see what he's going against. And Shinobu still just hanging out at home, throwing down 3 more gateways, and with a pylon going down, is going to lose some of his production, but no harm, no foul. He's got plenty of pylons on the way. He's not going to lose too much. And, oh, Tempest. Okay. I guess I can live with it. I guess. It's not a mothership, but I suppose I can live with it. Now, RoboBay going down because Rehab says, screw it. I'll build all the tech. He's going to have all 3 tech trees pretty much farmed out on both ends, which I feel like 5 more minutes into a game I would expect that, but at the 15-minute mark, I'm not sure if that's going to be a really good choice for him. Now, the third base of both of these guys is at about the same timing, and first Tempest is finishing up. That Tempest is going to be able to do quite a bit of damage, as there isn't a whole lot of shoot-up units from Shinobu. Oh, wait, there's more over here. Oh, yeah, no, that Tempest is going to do very little. Does that Observer see what it needs to? Yes, thanks to Zelnagi, he does see the units moving across the map. He's going to warp in what he can, but what he can is very little right now for Rehab. If you look over to Stargate, there's another Tempest on the way, which is really important to finish that up. That Tempest could make a pretty significant difference in this engagement now. Going to use a Tempest shot to kill that Observer. Definitely the best method. And a little pylon action. Shinobu feels pretty good right now, and he should. He's got the way bigger army. He's got some great things going for him. +2 weapons finishes up for Rehab first, which means there's a brief moment here where Rehab is going to have an upgrade advantage that could do him very well, but it's not going to last long enough. +2 is just about to finish up, but oh, is he going to engage before +2 finishes? What kind of difference could that make in this engagement with 2 DTs moving over the map? DTs, big damage dealers, but there's an Observer with the army. He's going to be able to take him out. Oh man, Rehab needs to really hit those air units, but Shinobu is looking like he's getting the better engagement. 14 seconds until Ground Weapons 2 finishes, but it's not going to make a really big difference. He's still got the bigger army with the more functional composition, and he's going to just tear right through Rehab's army. Starts moving toward the third. Rehab really doesn't have what he needs to respond to this. More likely than not, we're going to see a GG coming out pretty soon here from Rehab, as this death ball is only going to get larger and Rehab's economy is only going to get smaller. Now, we do see a DT doing some damage over here with a huge Zealot warp in, but I can't imagine that little kind of pressure is going to be enough, especially when there's, for all intents and purposes, a base race happening over here that involves a huge army. And we might see this move into a base race situation, but that would be a very bad choice for Rehab. A Shinobu who just has a monster of an army, and these Zealots getting torn through by the Immortal. A set of Warpins comes in from Shinobu, and that's going to take care of that last Zealot nice and easy, leaving nothing for Rehab. Rehab really on his last straw, hoping that these DTs can do the damage they need, but again, there's still an Observer with this army. He can tear right through it. An Immortal finishes. The Mothership Core is just about to go down. Immortal goes down. The Tempest is doing everything it can to hold out, but the Stalkers are putting down the damage they need. The final Nexus goes down. Rehab losing his economy. The GG goes down, and another game goes to Team CT6. Nice. Let's do another one! With one of my favorite names in the entire CTL, because it's also my favorite card in Cards Against Humanity. Let's watch him. Alright, that's where we're sitting, right? Alright. So, spawning in the 1 o'clock position of the map, from CT6 EU, one of my favorite names and favorite Cards Against Humanity's cards, Bees? Bees. His opponent, spawning in the 9 o'clock position, the blue Zerg from Team UnRivaled, it is Chaos. You're going to see a little ZVZ action, mirror matchup of my own main race, so definitely the one that I can cast the best. Obviously, I feel very confident that I know all of the... I feel confident that I know all of the... I know all the races well enough to cast, but obviously as a Zerg player, Zerg is my best. Now both players sending their first Overlord in the correct direction, so his Overlord's going to be like, yo, what up? Hi, Bill. Oh, hey, Ted. How you doing, buddy? And good for both of them, because now they know exactly where the other one is. They move right past each other. And now we have Hatchery coming down. We'll be nice and calm for a little minute. It's going to be nice. Now we have a hatch first from Bees. Okay, there it is. Sorry, my screen went black for a minute and I couldn't see anything, which was really weird. But no big deal, because we do have a hatchery first coming out of Bees, but a pool first from Chaos, so that could end very badly for Bees. If Chaos is able to take this 13 pool, turn it into some aggression, and force a cancel on the hatchery, that's going to end up really, really well for him. Alright, and as it finishes up, we're going to see the Queen starting in the first couple of links, and how much he commits to this pressure is going to make a huge difference. It's looking like quite a bit, as we do see Chaos pumping out lings with all of his available larvae. Yeah, he's committing to this, and he does have speed started up, so this is going to be pretty much a full push coming out of Chaos. And as Chaos sees the expansion yet, now he's going to see the expansion. He knows he's in a good position. He sees that his opponent is not mining gas yet, and a good scout seeing the lings from B is going to pump out some lings of his own, but with speed finishing up much earlier for Chaos and way more lings on the field for Chaos, there is the opportunity for him to do some serious damage if he's able to hit this early enough and efficiently enough. But I don't like orange on Zerg. Everything blends into itself and it looks funny. I think they just look like little splotches of paint. Alright, no, bad day for those two lings to get cut off. Shouldn't be moving lings privately across the map like that. Move it in pairs of two. If your opponent has any kind of lings coming out, they have a huge defender's advantage. You want to make sure you've got a chunk of lings before you move into their base. And Chaos realizing he's probably not going to kill with this, so he does go for the expansion, but he's got a huge number of lings. And a fair warning before I speak, I know both of these players are higher ranked than me and better than me and could beat me in a game. That being said, one of the biggest mistakes that people tend to make, myself of course included, is overcommitting to pressure like this, but also knowing you can't overcommit to pressure like this. He's hugely committed, but he's building an expo, and so he's going all in, but trying to be economic behind it. And really, if you want something to really work out for yourself, it's a lot more important that you pick one. Now Chaos has some Banes on the way, which could do really, really well for him. But let's see where those go. And now drone's on the way. It looks like one more set of lings coming out, but he's probably going to start droning up here. Going to go into Econ, and if these Banelings get the hits they need, God, I love blue Banelings. They look so cool. If these Banes get the hits that they need, this could be absolutely devastating for Bees. Bees not pulling the drones yet. The Banelings are starting to move in. Oh, and the lings are taking out the drones. Huge hits from the Banelings. Going to take out every ling over on Bees' side. And now these lings are going to start tearing through these drones. Chaos gets exactly what he needs out of that. And although he took a big risk going for the Econ behind that push, the push was enough. Nice quick game, putting game 4 to Team UR and Chaos. Damn, dude. I don't actually know who won this week, so this is really exciting to me that it's like 2-2 and it's so close, because I don't know who ended up winning this match. So this is exciting for me. Spawning in the upper right-hand side of the map, another blue Zerg following up on a great win from his buddy from Team UnRivaled. It is Cobalt. Let's see if Cobalt can do the same thing Chaos just did and bring home a win against his orange opponent, who this time is Terran instead of Zerg from CT6EU, Tailtemla. Onwards, brethren of Sigismund? Sigismund? To death or glorious victory? I'm hoping death. Little witty rapport. Well, a little bit of witty rapport action. I like it. Also, wait. Is that Gamer Bob? Dude, if Gamer Bob is watching my cast right now, I'll get kind of hyped. He was like one of the first people I ever watched on Skype when I first started getting into like that whole world. His faith is strong, which is good because Reapers take a lot of faith, and it looks like a Reaper opening. Meanwhile, we have a 15 hatchery into a 16 pool, 17 pool, 16 pool. Wait for it, 16 pool. All right, so 15 hatch into 16 pool, pretty standard ZBT opener. Possible we're going to see some 1-1 roaches, but I don't want to get my hopes up just yet. Don't want to be too optimistic, and I should have switched that. That's my mistake. I know you are supposed to go on the right. My bad. Regardless, Overlord hanging out over here. Good positioning for it. Personally, wouldn't send my first Overlord there. You want your first Overlord to hang out somewhere around here so you can check if there's some expo. But that's a good place for an Overlord because you're always going to see any kind of aggressive push, any train push, any parade push that comes through is going to go right through there. So that is a good placement. Richie, yeah. Gamer Bob is a guy. What's the other thing he goes by? I think when he played League of Legends for a while, and he went by Guardsman Bob, I think it was. It was something else Bob, but he played LoL for a while. And when I first started getting into PC gaming, I played League a little bit, and I watched him. And then his like Let's Play channel was Gamer Bob. But yeah, he was like one of the first guys I ever watched. And so for a minute, I was like, wow, that'd be cool. But these Lings seem to be able to hold off that Reaper a bit, and we do have 4 Queens coming on the way. So a little... pretty much the exact same build we saw out of Robo Boogie. The same ZVT action, the same roaches. Now that Queen's going to come out just in time, going to be able to finish off the Reaper gets away. Injects come out from the Queens. 2 more Queens are already on the way. Lucky. Man. Oh, Gatekeeper. Maybe it was Gatekeeper. Maybe. I don't know. That doesn't sound quite right, but it might be. Regardless. These Queens hanging out here, they're going to start creep spread. We see the second set of gases coming out. This is right after Queen. It's going to start turning into a lair probably. Oh no, that's the first set of gases. Okay, that's the first set of gases. There's no gas yet. So, my mistake. Inject's coming down. Queen starting creep spread. Saturation begins on the gases. And ladies and gentlemen, we are seeing a 1-1 roach timing. So give that 3 more minutes and we're going to have roaches. It sounds like a cooking show. Now pop that into the oven, wait 3 minutes, bam! You got roaches. Alright, so Bunker is going down. We have 2 Reapers. Overlord placement of both of the Zelnagas. Going to be able to, see if anything starts pushing, but unlikely it's going to. And Roach Warren and 2 Evo Chambers. Oh my god, at 650, along with... Bet you we'll see 2 gases in a minute, guys. Yep, Grim's got it. That's who I was thinking of. And there they are. There they are, folks. The 2 gases that we needed. And we have some Hellion and Reaper movement across the map here. Now, a much earlier third than you usually see with this build. Cobalt. Oh, Cobalt doesn't have his wall. No, he's not even going to go for it. Okay. I was going to say, he doesn't have his Queens blocking his wall, so those Hellions could potentially get in and do some damage, but they're not willing to risk it. Which is fair, because it's scary. Talitemla, 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 Talitemla. Oh, did I not? Did I introduce these guys? Yeah, I did. I don't know why I don't remember that. Yeah, Talitemla. Fun guy. Enjoyed casting his last game. He's not really going to be able to do too much with that. He's doing a good job responding, though. Knowing the Roach is coming, he builds 2 bunkers. Going to be able to fill those up with Marines, and it's just pumping Marines. Command center out the way. Going to try and move over here and do a little damage, but decides he might be able to get the Roaches. He does get 1 kill, but that's not going to be a huge amount. Reapers really do help in a Roach v Hellion fight, but only 2 of them not going to help enough. Cobalt going to keep pumping out Roaches. He does have speed and 1-1 on the way. 9 Roaches are about to pop. A couple drones, but not anything really ridiculous. And these Roaches going to take out a Hellion. Not quite enough to get 2, though. Interesting. I don't foresee this Roach push killing the way it did for Robo Boogie, but it should be able to do quite a bit of damage. And the only reason I say it probably won't kill is because Talitemla has done a great job of responding. Building these bunkers and starting to pump Marines, getting Widow Mines, really doing everything you need to do if you scout this. He's doing a very good job of doing the damage he needs to. Now, 1 drone is going to go down along with a Ling, but no real harm done there. It's not anything that's going to change the course of the game. Just important to keep that pressure put on his opponent. Talitemla wants to make sure that he, keeps him on his toes. Now Cobalt at a supply advantage and at an army supply advantage. 1-1 is finished. Speed is finished. There are 13 Roaches on the way with 9 about to pop. And we're going to start to see movement across the map. These Roaches going to start trying to do damage. But if we look back here, there is a very big army. And the factory producing 2 at a time Widow Mines. If we look at his... Oh, but he's pushing out, and pushing out might not be a good choice. He's not going to get the advantage from those bunkers now. Some damage going down from the Roaches, and the Roaches have plenty to take out this army. And although there are Widow Mines going down, the Widows... and a good choice to pull up there. Widows going down from the Roaches. The Medevac's picking up, and Talitemla in a really, really bad place now. A very bad and scary decision for him to move out there, and thus if he's not pulling in time, the first bunker does go down, and now it's starting to look like Cobalt might get a win out of this push. There are more Roaches streaming across the map, a big old parade push, and although 2 more Widow Mines are finished, those Widow Mines are going to have to get some really great hits to do the kind of damage that they need to do. The last little chunk of Marines and Marauders is going to go out in just a second, along with these SCVs. Widow Mines are burrowing. 1 of them goes off. There's 2 more just hit burrow. 1 hits, 2 hits. They do end up getting 1 and probably some hits, respectively, but Widow Mines in that position do need time to re-go. The GG goes down from Talitemla. Game 5 goes over to the folks at UnRivaled. GG. Man. This has been far and away the best series that I've cast so far for CT6. And maybe it's because I don't actually know the outcome. Maybe it's, it could be a ton of things. But it is a blast. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we're going to take a quick break because the next game is 1 HP, and inevitably that game is going to last an eternity, and it is in my best interest to go pee before I start casting it, lest I sit here for an hour and a half with a full bladder. So, can I pause real quick? Actually going to check the replay timeline as long as we are here for a second. No. I don't remember how to check the replay timeline. I am the worst. Yeah, like I said, thanks for coming, Richie. Appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out in chat. It's been a good old time. But like I said, I'll be back in just a second, y'all. Alright, Universe, I'm back. Prepare yourselves. Ridiculously long games are coming. Maybe. Hopefully. Not. Either way. We shall see. We shall see. Alright, so who is it? 1 HP goes on the other side. 3 to 2. Alright, that is numbers right now, right? Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Going into our 6th match. Spawning in the upper right hand side of Deadwing. The pink Zerg from CT6EU. It is 1 HP for the win. His opponent spawning in the bottom left hand side of the map as the yellow Terran. It is Team UnRivaled's Padula. Padula. It's probably Padula. That would make more sense. Padula. I'm gonna keep saying it as like bad Spanish as I can. I refuse to say it correctly, and I also refuse to say it like a white guy. I will just say it in the most ridiculous way possible. Because, you know, that's the dream, isn't it? Pretty normal openers coming from both of these players. Nothing that I would consider crazy or really, you know, shout about. Pretty average stuff. We'll see in a minute if that changes, but for now. Whoa, that's not what I wanted. Go back. Are we going to see barracks? Is he going to build a... Oh my god, he built a barracks! I'm surprised. Are you surprised? Ladies and gentlemen, a barracks. And looks like we're going to see a 12 refinery instead of 13 refineries, so definitely a Reaper coming out there. Meanwhile, it looks like we're also going to see a 15 hatchery, so definitely the same thing we watched last game. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in honor of the same thing we watched last game, woo, hype! Alright, Overlord moving across the map over here, so this first Overlord went to the wrong position, which is a little bit meh for 1 HP, but it's not going to be the end of the world. He does have an Overlord moving the correct... Boop. Sorry about that, guys. I clicked the button and it didn't switch over, so that's ridiculous. But you haven't missed much. You know, over here, 1 HP. Over here, Padula, 15 hatch, barracks, 12 gas, Reaper on the way. Whoever's Skype messaging me, I know. I fixed it. It's okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I clicked the button that says casting, but it didn't switch over, which is really, really weird. But that's fine. These things happen. Like I said, you guys didn't really miss too much. What I was saying about the Overlords, this guy went the wrong direction, but this guy's going across the map doing his thing, so that's totally fine. And yeah, pretty basic opener from both people. Sorry, I'm a dingus. Thanks, Grim. Appreciate you. Alright, a pretty quick CC going out, so Command Center right after the Reaper, and using the Reactor to finish the wall off instead of another supply depot, so that's interesting. That's kind of cool. And now this Reaper going to go the wrong way, though. No! The Reaper going the wrong way is kind of devastating for Padula. He's still going to get the scouting information, but the fact of the matter is, he's still going to get the scouting information, but if you send a Reaper the wrong direction, then there's going to be queens on the map by the time your Reaper really hits the right direction, and queens shut them down. So now, instead of being able to get 1 or 2 drones, he's going to get maybe 1, and probably his Reaper is going to get shot by a queen. So, rough there. Ling's going across the map for scouting. This Reaper looks like he's just looking around, taking a peek, sees that there is a queen, and does not want to deal with that. Starts running away, which is probably a good choice. Queens are scurry. These 2 Lings are going to come in. They do see that there's a CC going down. They're going to try and take out the SCV, but it's going to finish. There's not enough time for them to stop that. They can't get that delay, and there are plenty of Marines around, and we are going to see Hellions as the factory is moving over. So again, same thing we've seen last game, except this time, Hellions being followed up by a Starport. So definitely an earlier Starport than we've seen in most games with Hellion aggression, and will be interesting to see what happens with that. And again, 1 HP, like his buddy earlier, taking the gases. You know, I want to say this is a Roach opener because he's doing the Roach opener. You know, he is doing the gasless Roach opener, but it's 1 HP. So there's a really good chance that what looks like a Roach opener is going to quickly devolve into an infestation pit. So I'm not going to speak on that until we're certain of it. While a bunker or a supply depot? I figured it looks too small to be a bunker. Supply depot going down. I just saw 4 Marines. That's what made me wonder. Yeah, that going down. First medevac on the way. Probably going to see a little bit of early drop timing, so that'll be interesting. We do have 3 queens on the map. So 3 creep queens instead of 2, more than we usually see at this point in the game. And speed on the way, so yeah, with the 3rd base, it's probably going to be 1 HP's Pride and Joy Swarm Hosts. I would be surprised if we saw anything else at this point, unless it's Roaches. But no, double Evo chamber with no Roach Warren. Yeah, prepare yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. 1 HP is going to do his very favorite thing. Alright, now we do have movement across the map, however, and there's not very much to deal with this aggression, especially with these Marines to back up the Hellions, which are now going into Hellbats. Good choice. There's really not much for them to deal with. Now, speed is about to finish up. There are 8 Lings on the way, but 8 Lings are not really that much when you have this kind of pressure coming in. And there are 3 Queens, but they move just out of position. The drop comes down. The Hellions morph to Hellbats yet again. There's now 4 Hellbats and 6 Marines. Going to be able to push down this 3rd, but I don't think that's what they want to do. They probably want to focus on these Queens. If they can take out the Queens, he puts himself at a huge advantage. Let's look back and see what kind of production there is. Huge number of Lings. Huge swarm of Lings coming out, and he needs to move himself over here to catch the Lings. If they get this round, they're going to win, but if he can get the Hellbats in here, he's going to be able to get... He does kill the hatchery. The Lings come around, but they're going to get torn through a little bit by those Hellbats. However, almost two Marines going down. Big swarm of Lings, but the Lings coming in bits at a time, not in the speed that they need to. More Marines coming in. Hellbats starting to go down. That's 1. Only one dies. The queen starts to retreat. Bane Nest is up. More lings are on the way, but this army able to do some huge damage simply because of composition. And now with 2 queens here, he's probably going to clear this up. But 1 HP had to pump a lot into that, and he did lose a base. However, his opponent lost quite a bit too. That was about as close to an all-in as you can get without being all-in. And that's scary for Padula. He did a good job of keeping an econ back home, but he had a lot going on there that now got shut down. So that's a little bit scary. We do see 1-1 coming up over here. 1-1 is just about to finish for our Zerg player. Oh, and he's going into a Spire. Oh, thank God. Ladies and gentlemen, not Swarm hosts yet. Nice. I couldn't figure out how to check how long the game is, so I have no idea how long this game is. It could be anything. All right, we have a little bit of Ling action moving over here to see what's happening. He does see that there's another orbital down, but that orbital is functioning as a wall and as a scanner. But this big chunk of Ling's going to be able to take out take out 6 SCVs, but Banshee's very good unit against Lings. Oh, poor choice, though. Poor choice, I think, by 1 HP. He probably could have finished off that CC if he had just focused it down with the Lings a little longer, but instead he's going to decide to go for this orbital over here. Oh, and he gets a good surround on those SCVs. He's going to get quite a few kills there. 4 more, 6 more going down, running past to try and get some scouting, but that's not going to happen. We have all kinds of upgrades finishing up for yellow with bam, bam, bam. Look at those upgrades. And Centrifugal Hooks is on the way, so we're going to see Bane's speed in just a second. Going to be able to do quite a bit of damage with that, especially the way that this wall is built right now. And really, this is anybody's game at this point. Some good play coming from both players, some good reactions, good scouting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. And Spores are already up at all of the bases. A couple, Banshee going to be able to take out a couple of drones, but certainly not as much as he needs. Not as much as he needs to pay for the Banshee. And with Spores at every base, pretty well positioned. The best the Banshee can do at this point is sneak back here and try and do some damage on the Spire. And even that is not going to be too much. Now we do have 12 Lings and 2 Mutas on the way. Not too terribly much. But along with 2/2 upgrades and +1 flyer attacks, depending on how this push does, if these Lings do in fact push, there's some potential for this to, in the long run, turn into a really good attack if he's able to go from multiple directions. Now we have a 4th that is finished up from the Zerg. That orbital has moved over and started to mine, giving us, speaking of mine, Widow Mines. Widow Mines are so cute. Like, I understand that they're robots, but look how cute they are. They're like little cat things. They're like looking around, they're like, what? What's up? What's up? They're adorable. But my emotional feelings about Widow Mines aside, there's a huge number of Lings hanging out right here. It's probably going to turn into some Banelings soon and start moving across the map. There we go. There are the Banelings that we wanted. We do see Overlord speed on the wall. Oh my god, yes please. Yes please. Please, please. Come on. It's so unlikely, but please go for Bane drops. No, he doesn't have Ventral Sacs on the way, so despite everything I want and love, it's just not going to happen. Nice bright Banelings moving across the map here. I love the way Banelings look with the Game Heart overlay. It's beautiful. This big ol' army moving for 1 HP could do a huge amount of damage, especially with the way things are positioned right now. These mines are back here to take care of the Mutas, but the Mutas look like they're going to want to move in through the front instead. If he pushes right now the way these Marines are, 1 HP could do a whole lot of damage with these Banelings. Stim is just about to finish a push right now. Oh, is he going to catch those mines out? He does. Are the Lings going to have enough to kill it, though? No, the mines do go down, and one's going to get off. Oh, a huge hit for that mine. It may have only gotten 1 kill, but it does a ton of damage right in the middle of those Mutalisks, forcing 1 HP to push back, despite his good numbers. But there's a lot of creep right here. There's going to need to be some good splits from Padula if he wants to do the damage that he needs. The units start moving in. The Banelings are getting into the middle of the army. The first one does a huge hit right in the center. A couple more big hits. Marines going down pretty well. The Lings start to move in. There's way more Banelings to back it up. The Muta's helping to push down those medevacs. A couple more Marines are coming down, but 87 to 137. 1 HP has definitely done the damage that he needs to do, putting himself in a fantastic position. And for the second time in this series, we see some killer Bane hits. Fantastic Baneling play from everybody who has so far done Banelings. And like I said before, I love the way these games are going. I don't know who won this week. I don't know who's in finals. So watching this and seeing that it's 2-3, looks like it's about to be 3-3. It's so much fun for me. It's so fun to see this with no idea who's going to win. I hope it comes down to the ace match. I hope it's 4-4 going into the ace match. That'd be so much fun. Oh, the Widowmine. Ooh, good job pushing those Lings out. He does lose quite a few Lings, but it's not his whole army, and that's what matters. The scan goes down. He sees what kind of things he's dealing with. Able to burrow a Widowmine. Oh, is this army going to move in? Oh, the army just blindly moves in. The Widow goes off. Oh, but a good split as soon as he notices it go off. Fantastic play by 1 HP. Really, really fantastic work there. Big chunk of Banelings here. Big chunk of Mutas. Really, just top to bottom, 1 HP has a fantastic army right now. Fantastic size. Padula is splitting his Marines around, making sure that they're all healed up by the medevac, getting ready for this engagement. But it is an engagement off creep, and it's an engagement with Marines already split, and so there's a lot of opportunity for Padula to have a great engagement right here. But these Muta numbers are pretty high now. Mutas look cool in pink. The little spikes on their back look cool. Alright, so these units starting to move back toward the creep. An interesting choice. Still only on 4 bases for the Zert. Still only on 3 with some huge saturation here. And missile turrets galore. So here comes the 4th command center. Still don't see the 5th or the 6th hatchery, but Ling spread like crazy. Really good Ling spread here. Really has vision everywhere on the map. I mean, every base is covered by a Zergling. Really fantastic spread there, but now we do see some movement. Finally something to get hyped about. Padula is moving across the map, and it looks like he might engage on creep. The creep spread is good enough from 1 HP that we could see an engagement coming out here. Padula turning on steam, trying to push in, thinks he has what it takes, but the first set of swarm hosts is finished. There are Banes galore, and the Marines may be splitting, but there is just too much. The Banelings tear through those Marines, and though there is a big chunk over here, there's still Banelings, there's still Zerglings, there are Mutas and Swarm Hosts, and just too much for Padula's army to deal with. 135 to 180 right now. Padula may be getting units back, but it's unlikely he's going to have enough to do the damage he needs. These Mutas doing a good job of moving around the side to take out the medevacs. Medevacs going down. Last chunk of Marines getting taken out by those Locusts. And what it comes down to now is, does 1 HP lose units to the Widow Mines? The Widow Mines decide that it's not worth the risk. They start to run away. And once again, 1 HP coming out of an engagement with a really significant advantage. And we see the 5th hatchery going down for 1 HP. He's expanding for himself. Swarm Hosts, which I can't even blame him. He's good with Swarm Hosts. No reason not to build them. Oh, and a good hit from that Widow Mine, but the Widow Mine getting taken out. Not able to get the hit that it needed. It looks right now like 1 HP, and this is the same way the last game of his that I cast went. It looks kind of inevitable that he's going to win. What it comes right down to is 1 HP has the macro. And even if he loses engagements, even if he gets beat up a little bit, he has the macro that he needs to do huge damage. And this is great because now he's going to see these Widow Mines. He's going to go right through the minefield, and yeah, he's going to lose all of his Locusts, but they're going to set off almost every Widow Mine there. There's an army, but not enough army to really deal with this kind of push. Another chunk of Locusts is going to move in, set off the last little bit of mines, and then 1 HP could push in, take out these mines, and really go for a fight. The last mine goes off. It's not enough to kill. He is able to cancel that CC, which is a great pick for the Locusts. Free units, good units. And now these Marines moving out, getting ready to go. Locust setting off the Widow Mines. Really good play. The Widows unburrow, and they start moving toward the army. But 1 HP has a huge number of Banelings. That was a perfectly placed scan. He's able to see just about everything that his opponent has. But with the Swarm Host going down, launching a set of Locusts into the side of the units. Gonna see how much damage those Locusts can do before he pushes in. But here come the Banelings. Well-placed tank. Banelings go right into the Widow Mines, and Padula getting the Widow Mine hits that he needed. Doing some great things there. Starts to shoot the Swarm Host. Does do oh! Oh, but he got cocky. Oh, and Banelings take out all of those Widows, take out all of those Marines. And now this chunk of Mutas is going to be able to come in and do some huge damage. There was a fantastic opportunity there. Padula did the damage he needed, but he got a little too cocky. Now 3-3 is almost done. Side note, anybody under the age of 18, cover your ears. Too cocky sounds like boo cocky, and I am giggling. Anyway, someone in the hallway laughed at that. So anyway, Padula had an opportunity to do some huge damage. Got a little bit too cocky, especially on creep. And now these Swarm Hosts are going to send another chunk of Locusts. And I like the way HP is using his Locusts right now. He's using them more for scouting than for damage. You know, these Locusts are doing a lot more checking for Widow Mines, moving out, and sort of being suicide troops to see what's out there, what the army looks like, and what damage they can get with the full army, so that when the full army moves out, it doesn't position itself badly. And now these Muta's going to get a great pick on the command center, still leaving his opponent at 4 bases as he comfortably mines from 5. And we do see some a little bit of a fuck it push coming out of Padula as he moves medevacs around the map, but they're going to be seen by this Ling and this Ling and this Ling and this Ling before they get there, so it's unlikely they're going to be able to do a whole lot of damage. And these Mutas are getting a little bit more harass over here. The creep spread continues. The Locusts are going to finish this side of the wall. 1 HP in a fantastic position, especially with that 3rd base starting to get mined out. 2nd base is almost completely mined. Padula is about to be completely strapped for cash. Oh, 1 HP, I love you. I love casting your games. I just do. And like I said, he did see this drop happening, and he was able to take care of that. Clean that right up with a chunk of Mutas and a couple Ling Bling. Most importantly, we have Burrow, and we have Ultras. We're probably going to see a unit sacrifice here. You know, these Ling Blings are probably going to push in and do what damage they can so that the Ultras can pop. So we'll see what happens off of those. Tanks, definitely a good decision against Swarm Hosts, but it's not mass Swarm Hosts. It's all the 1 HP has to do is wait until his opponent pushes out. Oh, and a great placement over here. The units don't see those in the scan. They try to move out, but there was a much bigger army than they thought. Those Banelings going to be able to tear through every single Marine that's available. And is it time? When is it Ultralisk time? Locust able to do a bit of damage on the tanks, not a huge amount. Another chunk of Locust coming out. See, this is good Swarm Host play. This is what I think Swarm Hosts were made to do. This sort of scouting, a little bit of pressure, and to use them to come around the side as your units move around. That's what's up. Mass Swarm Host is, I think, what people get annoyed by. This Mass Swarm Host is just slow. But Swarm Host for this purpose, this is fantastic. I mean, those 10 Swarm Hosts are doing great things. Being used really, really well by 1 HP. This tank realizes that this chunk of Locust could be its last... could cut its life into pieces. Would be its last resort. So it decided to unsiege. And now we finally see a ridiculously saturated base coming out, but nonetheless it is a 4th base. Padula going to be able to gain back a bit of income and hopefully use that income to get an army that he can fight with. But 1 HP at a ridiculous advantage here. He can remax his army 1, if not 2 times based on how engagements go. Oh, the loneliest Ultralisk. Fun fact, as we wait for this engagement to happen. Oh, wait, engagement! Not an engagement. Oh, I've been zoomed out this whole time? Weird. Oh, well, I like it more this way. Anyway, fun fact as we wait for the engagement. Whales speak exclusively through guttural noises, and if a whale's guttural noises are too high-pitched, other whales can't hear them, and as a result, will not be able to know that the whale exists because they can't see. and that whale will be alone for the rest of its life. This Ultralisk is like that whale. It is the loneliest whale. Does he have +5? Are you seeing this? It's like +5 carapace. Am I crazy? That's interesting. Oh, huge damage from those lings. Taking out 40? Are we going to hit 40? Oh, I wanted 40. Alright, but 38 still a huge number of SCVs to be able to tear through. The scan does go down, but this Ultralisk Bling Bling army over here will probably be able to do quite a bit of damage, especially if the Blings get those hits, and they do fantastic hits. Padula down to only 70, and that's going to be the GG. Another game goes to 1 HP and the folks of CT6. Alright. Alrighty. Moving into the 7th game of the series. Spawning in the bottom left-hand side of the map. From Team UnRivaled, it is Polar. His opponent, in the top right-hand side of the map, the orange Zerg from CT6 EU, it is Awake. Now, during the regular season meeting between these two teams, Polar and Awake also played a game against each other. But I gotta be honest. Oh, yeah, Doomshy, duh. I didn't know Chitinous Plating came up as +5 on the unit tab. I didn't know that Chitinous showed up as an armor upgrade. I thought it was just a thing that existed in addition. And I would have assumed if it came up as an armor upgrade, it would have come up as +4, not +5. That's interesting. Interesting pylon placement from Polar. Either a Forge or Gate fast expand, but with the pylon so far back, it'll be interesting to see how he builds that wall. Them moving the same direction was really funny. Forge fast expand, but it's going to be seen immediately by his opponent, so he knows exactly what he needs to do to respond to it. And he is responding to it. He is with the quick spawning pool. Interesting how both of these guys are reading each other. And like I was saying, these two did play one another in a regular season CTL match. And if somebody happens to know who won that game, they should let me know in chat, because I think it would be good for everybody to know. But I cannot remember, and I don't have the means to look it up right now. Alright, so Hatchery does go down from Awake. He does see that probe hanging out back there. Good call to scout for it after catching the Forge fast expand. Don't want to get cannon rushed on this map. Probe almost getting caught out in a really bad position, but definitely getting caught out enough to probably die. Oh, and where did he lose? Did he lose an Overlord, or did he do he did an extractor trick? Okay. Like, wow, where did he lose an Overlord? That'd be ridiculous so early. But now he went extractor trick. Going to be able to kill that probe just in time for it to not scout the third base coming down. And all in all, I like this wall off a lot, actually. You know, going into it, I was uncertain what he was going to do with this pylon placement. But that pylon placed perfectly so that he can get the whole kit and caboodle here and has a lot safer power. I like that a lot. It's really good SimCity. Cybernetics core coming down at the wall. Overlord over here to see if any funny tech tries to come up, but nothing does. Almost at full saturation on the first base, starting to saturate that second base. Probe moving around. Probe is going to scout this third base and, you know, sees what's going on. These Lings. Oh! And the Probe turns around at the last second. Isn't going to see the base just yet. He will now, though. He will move back. And so these Lings shooting down the rocks. Probe going to scout that. Injects happening. Gas happening. A lot of things happening. That is the nature of StarCraft. First Zealot is about to finish up. We don't see gate tech yet. Is it gonna? Maybe are we? Maybe we could get away. Maybe warp gate. Maybe a little warp gate action. Maybe a little warp gate. A little bit. A little warp gate. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm not gonna sit here and wait. We do see a Stargate coming out, which I suppose is like warp gate if you change 4 of the letters. And the third is finished over here. Rocks still being attacked by Lings. There's warp gate. And there's speed. There's a queen. Overlords. Gases. Pylon. Alright, so there was a brief supply block from Polar, but it is finished up now, and a Viking is going to get started. It'll be interesting to see if he uses this Viking to scout, or if he tries to get a number of them and do some damage. Vikings are a very good unit, especially with this kind of Overlord spread. I mean, 3 or 4 Vikings, if positioned properly, could easily get all of these Overlords, which at this point in the game would be devastating for a Wake to deal with. Ling's going to try and do a run by, but a well-placed Zealot on the hold command is going to keep that from happening. Now we do have 2 Phoenixes finished up. Phoenixes are seen by the Zerglings, but it seems like there's no real response to it happening. As far as Overlord placement goes, Ling speed is just about to finish up, and yeah, nothing going down to take care of these Phoenixes, and the Phoenixes deciding their best decision is to go for the Queen. Third one comes and meets up with them now. They're going to start shooting it down. Probably going to be able to finish the Queen off with 3 of them, and now we do see a Spore Crawler going down, but that Spore Crawler is going to pop far too late. Damage is going to go down if he micros these. Warp Gate is just about to finish up. The Lings over here are just hanging out. There's an Overlord also hanging out. Oh, I'm going to be able to get some picks if he wants, but instead going to go for the Overlords. Going to just start tearing through the Overlords, and with very little anti-air except for Queens, these Overlords are going to get taken out efficiently, quickly, and effectively. And I was going to go for this Queen. The thing with Spore Crawlers is, although that's good position, they can't really save your Queens. Gold save the Queen. Ooh! A sad probe over there. Mothership Core is doing some damage here. Stalker finishes up this Overlord over here. Able to get a couple of drone kills. And just fantastic damage from Polar right now. These God, I keep saying Vikings. These Phoenixes doing fantastic damage. Definitely doing what they need to do. Good job microing away from that so he doesn't lose any. Sees that 1-1 is on the way right now, and sees that it's 1-1 with Glow. Oh, and the Queen caught out. Queen gets caught out. Phoenix is able to tear out another Queen. If we look at the units lost tab right now, Wake has lost 12 units for 1,200 resources. He has lost 6 Overlords with the loss of that guy. 3 to 4 Queens. A huge number of units going down. These Phoenixes just completely ignoring the presence of the Spore Crawler at the main, realizing that they can do enough damage on that Queen to end microing away so they don't even lose any. Fantastic micro from Polar. Polar just doing incredible things. Meanwhile, still has a ground army to deal with these Zerglings over here. And Polar is playing this just awesomely. I mean, my God. Hydra's good choice, good unit. And a whole lot of Hydra's going to be able to do some serious damage against these. The Phoenixes are going to lose one of their guys, going to have to start running away. But there are 4 more Overlords they can get. So before their use is up, they're going to be able to get 400 more minerals worth of units at least, which all in all is a fantastic trade. I mean, we're talking 7 Phoenixes have taken out 3 times their worth in units. But where it gets a little scary in a second here is that we now have Hydras moving across the map, and there is a Void Ray. There is an Immortal, but there's really not the kind of army that you want for a big Hydra fight. He's going to have to get some really good micro on these in order to win this engagement. And now we see it coming in. The Hydras are coming in. The Time Warp goes down with a force field, but not the force field that he needs. The Colossus tries to stay back so that it doesn't lose itself, but it has to come in. It has to. The Phoenixes do get 2 picks on the Hydras, but there are just too many Hydras. Going to do some huge damage, tearing right through the Phoenixes. And now Muscular Augment's finishing at the same time as Thermal Lances. So both players getting very important upgrades simultaneously. Another Void Ray finishes, another Colossus finishes, but with these kind of numbers and the Lings to tank it, it's just unlikely that these units are going to be enough. The Ling's getting a good surround on the Colossus goes down. The Void Ray isn't taking very much damage yet thanks to the power of Force Fields, but a ton of Lings is just too much. And despite some great early gameplay, Polar has to throw the GG, giving the team CT6 their 4th win of this series. Good game, guys. That was a fun one. Polar looked really good. I honestly thought he was going to take that for a minute. Alright, getting into our next match, spawning in the bottom right-hand side of the map from Team CT6EU, the orange Protoss, Extraneous. His opponent, spawning in the upper left-hand side of the map, the pink Terran from Team UnRivaled. It is YOLO YOLO YOL, but actually it's Mahavishnu, I think. YOLO YOLO YOL is Mahavishnu's alt, isn't it? I think I've seen TB Ham log on to it before. I don't know. It could very well be a different person, but the schemat says Mahavishnu. I don't want to say YOLO YOLO YOL all night, so I'm going to go ahead and say it's Maha. If someone wants to correct me in chat, please do. I will subsequently fix the issue. Now we do see a supply depot going down at a different position than we've seen every other supply depot this match, so that's nice. Otherwise, everything pretty much what you would expect from a PvT opener. Or really any opener. Okay, it is Mahavishnu. Also, hi Maha, I haven't seen you in a while, man. How you been? GLHF. Alright, SCV Scout. Whoop. Whoop. What up, buddy? Alright, another pylon going down, so it doesn't look like a very early proxy from Extraneous. We do already have a command center going down for YOLO, so going, oh, damn it, from Mahavishnu. So he's going for a pretty economic build. Extraneous says, shoot. Get out of here. I don't want you. Cybercore is going down at a normal time. Nothing too crazy. Second gas coming now. Interesting choice for Extraneous to cut off his mining for a second to take that SCV. Makes me wonder if he's doing something weird. You know, to take that kind of time, away from your mining to kill a scout, it makes me think you've got to be going for something a little crazy. And we still have a gasless opener from Yo, who is throwing down a second barracks, probably going to be a third barracks soon. Yep, triple barracks. So this is going to be very similar to the build we saw in the very first game. A big ol', maybe a single gas for stim or for combat shields, but for the most part, just a big ol' mass marine push with an expo behind it. But the fast robo from Extraneous could be very good in response to that. As good as Mass Marines are in TVP, if there's one build you don't want to deal with if you're going Mass Marines, it's a fast Colossus. And depending when his Marines hit, if they hit after that Kalo, there's a good chance they're going to get torn right through. So Mahavishnu definitely needs to keep doing a good job of scouting like he did early game and push himself in there to get the information that's going to keep him safe, because that kind of scouting could be the difference between a win and a loss with this kind of aggression. And it looks like the decision is actually to go for a Nexus after the Robo Facility. So this is not an Immortal Colossus all-in. It's going to be quick Robo with an Expo behind it, which is good for Mahavishnu, a little bit scary for Extraneous. Stim is on the way. Marines upon Marines. And a factory coming up behind it. So trying not to go totally all in with this Marine push. But definitely going pretty hefty with it. Alright. Oh, nope. Oh my god, no. Oh, Mahavish. He did the lift there, and I thought he was going to lift up to switch off with the factory, but the lift happened just before Stim Pack was finished, and Stim got canceled. Oh, that's so sad. Stim canceled just before finishing. Gonna be really devastating for Mahavishnu. Honestly, pushing him with that many Marines with Stim right now probably would have won him the game. Now it's going to be... Oh no, there's two Immortals there. Yeah, it wouldn't have won him the game. But this fight with... I mean, this is the difference between this Immortal push. Honestly, at this point, I could see it killing him. He does have Medivacs on the way. Factory is not producing anything. But with Stim not finished, this is a terrifying position for him to be in. Mahavishnu needs to be a little bit scared right now. And it's funny watching the game and knows if he's actually scared, but I'm certainly scared for him. Oh, and his units push out just in time to catch Extraneous out. Extraneous definitely wanted to put a couple more units out there before he pushed, but that is just not going to happen. The medevac's coming in. There is a bunker there. Force field's going out to keep the bunker from being healed. The bunker does go down. The units inside are getting shot. And it looks like this might be enough from Extraneous to win the game if this push keeps going. Good micro pushing this Immortal back before it dies. Going to be able to take out these medevacs unless they get away. They do end up getting away, but this bunker gets canceled just in time. There are... Oh, pulling all of the boys. Is this going to be enough? Good force fields going down, pushing those SCVs away. Going to be able to get the damage down, but he still needs to deal with these two Marauders and a number of Marines. But with another fully healed Immortal coming. This is 4 Immortals worth of damage going down on a very, very weak chunk of units from Mahavishnu. Stim does finish up. We do see 2 more Marines and a Marauder finishing, but it's looking like it's not going to be enough. There's another round of units. It's Stalkers. Stalkers being warped in. Medevac moving, but is it going to be caught out by the Stalkers? Yes! It stops boosting just in time. This last-ditch effort is going to be caught. He's going to have what he needs at home to take it. Meanwhile, these Immortals and the Stalkers pushing into the base, doing damage. And Mahavishnu is having none of it. Going to float his command centers off into the corner to try and hide them. But all that's going to do is delay the inevitability that Extraneous has won this game. Dancing in the main. I've never seen the Immortal dance before. It's nice. Dance in the main. A smile from Mahavishnu. The GG comes down, and that means not only the games, but the week go to CT6 EU, meaning that Team CT6 is moving on to the finals. GG's, everybody. Congratulations to CT6. That means that the ace match is pretty much just for fun. So I'm going to cast it as a BO3 instead of as part of the overall matches. And of course, I hope it was everything you wanted. I'm sorry that you lost. Alright, so spawning in the bottom left-hand side of Nimbus, starting out this best of 3, the orange Terran from CT6, it is North Quab. His opponent spawning in the upper left-hand side of the map, the blue Terran from Team UnRivaled, it is Doc. So I think this means we've seen every matchup this week, haven't we? I think TBT was the only matchup I hadn't cast tonight, and here it is. A little TBT action, a little bit of something nice. So, in addition to some of the most fun games I've cast in all my time at the CTL, I get to cast every single matchup all in one night, which is awesome. Interesting differentiation of placement here. The supply depot going down at the ramp for Doc, while it is going down at the natural ramp for North Quab. So, interesting choice there by North Quab. We'll see what he ends up doing with that. The barracks is going down right next to the command center, so definitely not worried about walling off. More worried about his inner base SimCity, which is fair. We do see a gas before the barracks over here. Haven't seen that yet, so probably a Reaper, but definitely going to have a little bit extra. And Grim, I am going to stream some gameplay tonight, probably. Casting is exhausting, so after these matches, I'm going to take a break, do a little bit of work, lay down, and then I'll probably cast a couple hours of ladder tonight. I'll stream a couple hours of ladder tonight. And we do see a gas coming down. I'm assuming it was a 12 or a 13. It had to be. So we do see a gas coming down over here. First Marine is popping out. Meanwhile, this very early gas is going to allow Doc to build 2 Reapers if he wants. I imagine he's going to build 1 Reaper and then put down an... Oh no! Opting for the quick factory instead. So that'll be cool to see. And this SCV, what does it see? A whole lot of nothing. This SCV finds out just about not a thing from his attempts to scout.